Hello there, welcome back to our KSP series. In part 1, we covered the basics of setting up Kotlin Symbol Processing and writing a simple annotation processor. In this video, we'll explore more advanced features and techniques to take your annotation processing to the next level. Let's jump right in. Let's enhance our annotation to include more properties and handle multiple annotations in our processor. We will begin by adding a version to our parameters. We have added a version property to our annotation. Now let's update our processor to handle this new property. Let us modify our processor to include the version information in the generated code. Let's start by getting our annotation. Next, let's find our two arguments. One is known as value, the other one is known as version. We have found our two params using the annotation variable, getting the dot arguments property, which will be a list, then find an argument's name with a specific matching value. So we have two variables, one is known as value, the other is known as version. And since these are all nullable types, it is good to always provide a default value at the end. The last thing that we will do, we will provide some info in our logger, as well as adding this information in our generated code. Let's start with the logger. So we'll just adjust and say for version, provide the version there. We can also do the same within our generated code. Version. Now, the generated class includes the version information from the annotation. Let's test this with a new class. We've added a new package known as test3. We'll create a new file inside and we'll just call this demo class. This class will not require a body for now, so we can remove that. Then let's provide our annotation. It's called my annotation. Within here, let's provide our value. We'll just call this demo class and provide our version, which will be version 2. Okay. Now it is important that we edit out our previous values because we've added a new parameter. So let's just go to test1 just to allow this to compile. Let's have this as version being equal to 1, and then with test2 we can also do the same, whichever value it is. However, we are focused on demo class. Let's head over to our main Kotlin file. And with this, we will delete out all this unused code for now. And for us to test, firstly, I'd like us to build. Once the build runs, we can now use our class. Therefore, we'll just access our demo class generated, create an object of this, and then we can call print name. Once we run our main function, we will expect to see this is the generated class for demo class, and the version is provided there. And of course, we can see our version is as follows. This is a simple example of how you can extend the functionality of your annotation processors. Let's take it a step further and generate additional files or code. We'll create a companion object in the generated class that includes a static method. Let's head back to our annotation processor. So start by creating the companion object. Let's add the contents of this companion object. And then lastly, let's close out the function. So we've added a new companion object, which will have a function known as create. When we call the create function, it will simply create a new instance of this generated class. Let's rebuild our project. I'll use Ctrl F9. For those on Mac, Command F9 will work. Once the build is done, we can head back to our main. With the changes that we had earlier, we've added a companion object with a static create method to our generated class. Let's test it out. Modify the main.kt file to utilize the new create method. Let's create a generated instance using that method. Since this class has the static method, we can use .create, and we can simply say generated instance.print name. Hence, you can still do the same type of functionality as we did earlier in line 6. Build and run the project again to see our new functionality. And as you can see, they both return the same value since they are both using the same approach. Just that one is using the companion object while the other one was being generated directly. Perfect. We have successfully generated a companion object with a static method and used it in our main function. This demonstrates the power and flexibility of Kotlin Symbol Processing. And that's a wrap for our in-depth course on Kotlin Symbol Processing. We've covered the basics, advanced features, and even generated additional code. I hope you found this mini-series informative and helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more in-depth tutorials. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching and happy coding.